1-800-449-8255. Clark the Shark Show. In today's show, I want to talk about mask mandates, the vaccines, and all that. And you might be surprised at Clark the Shark's view on COVID, masks, diseases, but I am very much pro mask, pro vaccine. Um, if you don't want to get a vaccine, and you want to go to Disneyland or a concert, um, you should be able to go to the concert in Disneyland or wherever you want to go with or without a vaccine. I think people should get a vaccine, but 1-800-449-8255, Clark the Shark Show. Um, People should wear masks. People should wear gloves. People should do all that. But I notice Democrats don't do it, like Nancy Pelosi and, quite a few of them. Sometimes Kamala Harris and others. And some Republicans, you know, don't like masks. And I see a lot of the talk radio guys on YouTube, the so-called today's anti-mask leaguers of, our version of the people back in 1918 with the Spanish flu. What do they call them? The Anti-Mask League of San Francisco or whatever. Well, we got that again now at 1-800-449-8255. But masks are good. And it wouldn't bother Clark the Shark if we had to wear masks like forever or something. I don't care about a mask, but it doesn't bother me at 1-800-449-8255. So, anyway, what they're about to do is they're gonna get rid of the mask mandates again. I think they've already done it in many cases, which is a bad idea because COVID is bad right now still. It's out of control as much as ever, or even worse, at 1-800-449-8255. And not just COVID, but all those other diseases like the flu, the common cold. It's March. Today's March 13th or something. It's still like close to winter here. And, diseases can be bad in the summer, spring, winter, Super Bowl, 4th of July. Diseases don't really have a season. They're bad whenever they want to be bad, or whenever people aren't wearing masks or going to the bathroom and not washing their hands like Democrats do, or, not wearing a protection or whatever, 1-800-449-8255. But, yeah, I like masks. They're good, man. I don't need to look at people. You can shield your identity. And anyway, masks are good, man. They keep you from like getting disease and stuff. I spray Listerine inside my mask and outside. It makes it like mosquito repellent. And I know doctors and scientists might say don't do that because your lungs have all kinds of beneficial bacterias and germs in your lungs that protect you. And Listerine or Lysol might kill those, So, but I believe in it, man. Listerine inside the mask and outside the mask. And I just put it all over me, my hair, neck, skin, face, ears, whatever. And it works like a mosquito repellent out in the woods, but instead of mosquitoes, the virus will stay away from you at 1-800-449-8255. But I notice every time there's an election or something, the political players, the politicians are looking at that, and they're not really caring about what COVID and the flu and all these diseases can do at 1-800-449-8255. And they use COVID for elections one way or another. Now, when this disease was unleashed upon us all by the Red Chinese CCP back in 2020, the plan was to get rid of Donald Trump with this big disease, and it worked. And then our media ran with the ball and said everyone got to wear a mask, everyone got to wear gloves, stay indoors. They created this big panic It might have been false, like a false flag, or maybe it wasn't as bad as, whatever, but there was no vaccine at the time. And I said, Trump and the Republicans should jump all over this. They should be smart and say, you got to wear masks, you got to wear gloves, you got to spray yourself with Lysol and Listerine and go to extremes, man, to protect yourself from COVID. But instead, Trump was like this guy, like, kind of like an anti masker. And that backfired, man. In November 2020, the election, Biden won because Biden was like, wear a mask, wear gloves, And I knew, whoever says that is going to win. Trump should have gone all in on that. And so should, the Republicans should have gone all in on that, man, at 1-800-449-8255. But the Republicans played this game where they're like, if you don't want to wear a mask or you don't want to wear whatever, they were dilly dallying, playing, very, they weren't going all in, man, the way the Democrats were at 1-800-449-8255. And I said, I don't give a crap if masks work, don't work, gloves work or don't work or whatever. I just say you jump on that thing, man, that protectionist thing. And you lock them down, man. You lock down the neighborhoods and whatever, like Democrats were doing, because it's a disease, man. It kills people, and it's killed a lot of Americans. And Trump was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to piss off my redneck base out in Arkansas and Louisiana, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, and all them. I want to seem like I'm the anti-mask guy, and I'll paint Biden bad because he's the mask guy. And that was a dumbass thing to do by Trump. And what DeSantis is doing in Florida is dumb. And the Republicans saying take off the mask for everyone, kids, everyone, is dumb, man, because COVID is a bad disease. And now it's going to come back again. Today's what, March 12th, March 13th. I guarantee you 10, 15 days from now, if we are officially all taking off the masks, right now, March 13, 2022, well, by April 7th, COVID's going to be out of control again. And you're going to go online to that chart, and you're going to see COVID shooting up again, and you're going to have Delta and Omicron and Deltacron and all these variants. This disease ain't over. And I don't know what the answer or the solution is, but I'm sorry, people. The Chinese unleashed a very bad disease, and it looks like masks are here to stay. I wish they weren't. And I think this vaccine stuff is good, but, vaccines don't last forever. Even with the flu, you got to get one every year. And the vaccine has to adjust. They have to make a new vaccine all the time to adjust to the variants and mutations of viruses at 1-800-449-8255. And that's just the reality. So I remember in June, I think, of 2021, our genius Gavin Newsom said we can all take off our masks. Remember that? June 15th of 2021, almost a year ago. And guess what? COVID went out of control. And there's been a few of these now where the Democrats and Republicans have both said, let's take off the masks. Let's quit wearing gloves. Let's go outside. Let's go to Disneyland. Let's go to concerts and baseball games. Let's go see the Foo Fighters or the Dodgers. And it always goes bad, man, because the disease, once you take your mask off, even if you have a vaccine, the disease loves that, and it will come back at 1-800-449-8255. And mark my words, right now in March of 2022, If we all take our masks off from New York to Florida to Seattle to LA to Hawaii and all around the world, if we decide right now we're going to take our masks off and we're just going to be like, you know what, everyone, lots of people got vaccines, there's herd immunity. You know what, man? Time to take the masks off. Well, we're not ready to take the masks off, people. And the Democrats want to do this because they're looking at poll numbers and they want to at least be competitive in the midterms. Frankly, I think Democrats are going to lose bad simply because Biden has low approval and he's the guy in the White House, and that's just how it goes. Voters are really stupid, and 20% people always vote either right or left. But then you got that 60% in the middle, and then you can even break that down to this big 40% in the middle. And those people just vote against whoever's in the White House. The people who don't know anything about politics. I mean, I always vote Repub, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything about Repubs. They're just, to me, the lesser of two evils. And believe me, I think Trump and Romney and Newt Gingrich and Hannity are got plenty enough evil in them at 1-800-449-8255. But I would never vote for the D's or blue state type of stuff where they have welfare states and, the whole damn state is a mess, like New York and, California, Oregon, Washington State, and, Minnesota, where it's just a, train wreck. So 1-800-449-8255. Clark the Shark says we are not ready to take off the masks in March 13 or whatever it is, 2022. This disease, COVID, will be back by April 15th, tax day, and it will be out of control if we take off our masks, we take off our gloves, and we stop the precautions. And yes, COVID does get kids. COVID is mutating. COVID is learning and evolving day to day. The little virus keeps inside the little DNA that the Chinese programmed or whatever. COVID keeps thinking up new ways to get around your vaccine, mankind, at 1-800-449-8255. So I don't know if we can ever take off the masks. I hate to say that. The Chinese CCCP Communist Party created a disease to get rid of Donald Trump, and a disease to control populations and get people to bow down to government. But eventually people will get sick of the disease and the government. And I think the first victims of this will be the Democrats at the midterms, November 2022. But that's not to say it will last forever. Let's say Trump wins in 2024. Well, then all the stupid people will probably vote Democrat again in 2026. And we'll never get rid of Nancy Pelosi types. We may get rid of her and AOC, but there will always be new ones coming down the pike on that side of the coin, the left side, if you will, at 1-800-449-8255. Because mankind, it's like that song by Rush, Hatchet, Axe, and Saw. Keeps us all in check, even though the oaks and, they're happy and the other trees want their shade or whatever. And but there's a myriad of little things in this virus that the CCCP, it's the CCP, but I call it the CCCP, like Russia, China government purposefully did a disease out of Wuhan or whatever the hell it's called to stop Donald Trump because they didn't like him. But he will be back, China. I got bad news. And you know what, China? Maybe it's not so bad that Trump is coming back because now you guys don't have to attack Taiwan and get beat up the way the Russians are right now in Ukraine. Because China, if you do go into Taiwan, those people are going to fight back and you're going to lose 30,000 Chinese soldiers. Just like all the troops the Russians have lost in Ukraine. They've lost like 25,000. Before the war in Ukraine is over, Russia's going to lose 50,000, 100,000 guys or more in that war. So China, listen up. You don't want Taiwan anyway, baby. Taiwan going to fight back better than Ukraine ever will. And they're nowhere to run in Taiwan. It's an island. So if you guys land paratroopers in there and you try to, I don't know what you're going to try to do, bomb, machine gun the people, blow up things the way Russia's doing. The trouble is Taiwan people got weapons, man, and they got a military, and everything Ukraine got, Taiwan's got. Uh, Taiwan might even launch missiles at the Chinese mainland, if you know what I mean. They ain't just going to sit there and let you attack them and just lay back and do nothing. They might attack you at 1-800-449-8255, China. So, by the way, China, starting a disease, look what it's done to your country, you guys. Your Wuhan disease has ravaged your country. And eventually, your disease that you guys started intentionally on purpose, that has a myriad of little evolving DNAs in its nucleus, or whatever, you guys are going to be fighting this disease forever, too. Just like all of us at 1-800-449-8255, China. Diseases might stop Donald Trump in 2020. You might be able to trick our media and trick all the people once, but just like Abe Lincoln said, fool me twice, shame on me. It's going to be hard to fool the people forever. You know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time at 1-800-449-8255. Yeah, I think Trump going to be back, China. And then when you guys try to cook up a disease someday to stop Trump's daughter from winning in 2028, the people are going to be ready. It's like the boy who cried wolf. The people are going to be like, oh, a disease, You might fool some people in the middle or on the left, but I don't know, man. You tried the disease card now in 2020. And I'm sure back in 1918, Germany may have started the so-called Spanish flu, which it worked. It got rid of Woodrow Wilson or some Democrats, or whoever you didn't like in the U.S. government back then. But then the GOP came in 1920s, baby. So I don't know, China, if you can forever fool people with diseases at 1-800-449-8255. And there's always that spirit of people that want to take off a mask, and they don't want to wear a mask. Some governments will crack down, but some just can't and just don't. I mean, the world isn't uniform. We got all these different countries. And for a while, some countries may all toe the line, but eventually some won't, if you know what I mean, at 1-800-449-8255, the Clark the Shark Show. So, but anyway, right now, to sum it up, to wrap this episode up, I say we are not ready yet to take the masks off. We won't be ready till there's major herd immunity. Everybody got that vaccine. And by the time we do all that, there will be a new COVID that evolved and mutated at 1-800-449-8255. 1 year from now, in March of 2023, there will be probably 15 new COVIDs and several new flus, many new common colds, and all these other diseases that we will constantly be having Pfizer and Moderna and all of those companies making vaccines forever. They love it. Big Pharma loves these diseases that China started at 1-800-449-8255, or maybe Germany started in 1918. I don't know. But that's the Clark the Shark Show. Don't take off the mask. Don't listen to the Democrats or the Republicans like DeSantis or Gavin Newsom telling you to take off your mask. Leave your mask on. Use your hand sanitizer. Spray that mask with Lysol. Do what you got to do, man, to stay alive at 1-800-449-8255. Like almost 1 million Americans alone have died from COVID And I think that's about like the Spanish flu, 1918, 1919, 1920. That thing was around for 3 years at 1-800-449-8255. So if I were all of you out there, I would wear a mask. Don't listen to the long red haired guy, JP. The guy's funny. He's got good shit, but anyone telling you to take off a mask like DeSantis or Abbott in Texas is an idiot. Or if it's Newsom or Nancy Pelosi going to get her hair done or whoever, AOC went down to Florida and she actually caught COVID because, like a dumbass, she took her mask off. And when I go outside, I don't ever take off that mask at 1-800-449-8255 because, as I said in the beginning of this video, masks are good. And, I don't think the government should force you necessarily to wear a mask. And I don't think a concert or Disneyland or Magic Mountain should force you to get a vaccine or a mask. That's up to you, but I recommend Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255, that you wear your mask. Wear your mask. Don't listen to Newsom. Don't listen to AOC. Don't listen to Democrats trying to win elections or stay competitive. Don't listen to DeSantis or Abbott or Trump or anyone telling you to not wear a mask. You always wear your mask. You heard that from Clark the Shark at 1-800-449-8255 VR.